Liberians in and out of Liberia by sharing their successes, challenges, entrepreneur endeavors, and much more with the intent to inspire other upcoming changemakers. The 1847 show also promotes the Liberian culture by creating a space for individuals to learn the history of our nation to find solutions to problems that affect our country today. For this and much more, stay tuned for all things Liberian. We'll be right back after this short break.
Bosco baby, B to the O, S to the C, O, straight out of China. I represent LIB. The song playing in the background is my latest single called Like It or Not. You can find me on social, especially YouTube at Bosco_LIB, and also on Instagram at Bosco_LIB, and also on Facebook at Bus Music. Right now, you're watching the 1847 show. You know it's about you and me and all things Liberian. So follow the 1847 show on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on formerly Twitter and now X. So let's go, 2024. See you.
Hello, my name is Grace Chomagaba, founder of Destiny Creative Organization and owner at Janice's Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
Welcome back. You're watching the 1847 show, and this is season 2, episode 2, which is part of our series called Entrepreneurship Essentials. This series is dedicated to unraveling the secrets of successful entrepreneurs by sharing real stories aimed at empowering other entrepreneurs to take actionable steps to excel in the dynamic world of business. Entrepreneurship in Liberia holds immense promise, offering a pathway to economic growth, job creation, reduced income inequality. It is a catalyst for innovation, which will help enhance our nation's resilience in a rapidly changing world. Moreover, entrepreneurship empowers individuals, attracts foreign investment, and fosters self-resilience, which promotes and positions Liberia on a path towards a brighter and more prosperous future. Our guest today is Miss Maureen J. Davies, who is a multi-talented individual who is not only an entrepreneur, but also an event host, a writer, a leader, and an active member in her community. Her intent efforts to promote the kingdom of God is evident in all that she does, and as she works to uplift not just herself, but also her community by developing and promoting others. So we're going to go ahead and welcome our guest to the screen today. Hey, Miss Davis, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Jabo. I'm fine. It's so great to be here. It's such an honor.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming back. The first time you appeared on the platform was for the game show, which was an eventful time, if you can recall. Any PTSD from that? Any trauma from that?
No PTSD, but I'm really excited to be back. I can't wait for the next game show.
Okay, you got blood in your eyes, huh?
Yeah, right. I need to redeem my name.
Awesome, awesome. And that's what we always tell people in the game show is this is one of the times where you can't give up until it's over. It's never over until it's over. So we're glad that, unfortunately it didn't work out in your favor, but at least you're one of the people that got to, tell that story. It's a life lesson learned for everyone as well. So thank you. This is a whole different reason why you're here today. You're here to, share your story, the work that you're doing. And we want to start off about talking about the big why or the purpose. So for many people who are involved in their community as you, it's really easy. You can tell, why they're into those things, right? But when you're able to tell, the reasons are mostly self-motivated. So they're in it for selfish reasons, or they're in it for something. Maybe it's not selfish, but it's really centered around themselves. But what I've learned from just following you over the past few months is that your vision is bigger, and you can see that God is centered around all of that. But I want to give you the platform where you can describe, what that means for you. So what would you say in your own words is your big why or your purpose?
What's my big? I'm sorry.
Your big why, the why you're doing everything that you're doing, or what is your purpose?
Well, I think above all else, my biggest why is the fact that I I live so much with this understanding that my life is not for me, so it's people. Whatever I can do for others. So that is why I have so many ideas, different ideas all the time. Because if you see somebody or a group of people in a situation, and then the only thing you think of is the solution. What can I do for them and not me? So I believe the first road mark of innovation is problem solving, not just for you, but for others. Like Don Bosco would say, not for myself, but for others. A life for others. So that's my biggest motivation. Whatever I can do to make somebody's life better.
Sounds a lot like Christ, right? Live selflessly.
I'm not even close.
Awesome, awesome. But Matthew 5 verse 6, does that ring a bell?
5 to 6, what?
5 verse 6, Matthew 5 verse 6. Does that ring
Oh
a bell?
yes.
Do you want to tell us about
I,
that? And then for
I
those of
have that in
those
my bio as well.
exactly, exactly, and that is exactly where it was taken from. So the Bible verse says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." Now, my question to you is, if as people or as Christians, if we're able to pursue righteousness, do you think the reward that God gives us is for us to find our purpose?
If the reward God gives us is,
Is to find the discovery of our life's purpose or our big why? Do you think that's one of the reward or the reward by living a righteous life?
I believe the greatest reward for living a righteous life is not earthly, because everybody have earthly blessings, whether you're a believer or not. Like
Mhm.
somebody would say, when the rain falls on the believer, the rain also falls on the unbeliever. So I believe we all have earthly blessings. We all have earthly favors. We all have, even aside from us pursuing righteousness, we have our own purpose to find and fulfill. I believe that my reward is internal. Because if I'm a believer in Christ, then I should know that the end goal is internal.
Mhm.
It's not earthly. It's not of this world. It's of eternity. It's of the crowns of heaven, and it's way beyond this earth. It's way beyond Liberia and the blessings I will get here. So
Okay, good answer. So one of the things that's admirable about what you do and how you carry yourself is the way you dress. And I think it's powerful because it speaks volumes to those people who maybe look up to you, people who don't even tell you that they look up to you, right? They're following what you're doing, they're seeing what you're doing, and those are some of the things that they can pick up on. So I would like to show some of your taste of fashion on the screen. So we have that. Um, we also have this, which is not so formal as well. And then we have this other dress back to somewhat formal, semi-formal, formal, however you want to call that. So my question to you is, why is it important for young women like yourself to model good behaviors, through the way they dress, how they look? Why is that important?
Well, as the world evolves, a lot of us are coming to some, or we are, living such a life that says we are our own persons. The color of your hair should not determine your place at the table, or how you dress should not have an effect on who you are, or how people see you, or you getting a job, etc. But whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, how we present ourselves speaks a lot of who we are without us even saying a word. So instead of just dressing anyway and hoping to explain yourself, why can't you just dress in a way that sends out message of how you want people to see you, even though how people see you doesn't define who you are. But we live in a world that we live with others. No man is an island, so you have to dress the way you want people to take you. Like my boss will always say, she will say that nobody will come to you to nobody's right to come to you to insult you based on how you dress or how you look. But then perception is important because we live for people. The way people see you is important. That's how they take you. How
Right.
seriously people take you is more than the college you graduated from, more than the money you have in your bank account. It's just by simply how they see you and who you present yourself to be to them. And you wouldn't have the chance to be in a conversation with everybody. You wouldn't have the chance to have a physical interaction with anybody. But then, whether we like it or not, that's how the world is. People will take you how they see you. So you just have to do what you got to do to, create the image of yourself that you want others to see you. So basically, that's
Okay.
it.
Now, has this always been this way for you? Has it come easier for you, or is this something that you had to, grow into that mentality as well?
Well, aside from what I just said, like you already know, I don't want to make this a whole sermon or so, but I'm a Christian and I believe in God's moral standard about morality, about ethics, and about a woman. And as a Liberian woman, there are certain things I don't conform to. There are certain ways that I won't have to bash. I'm in no way bashing anybody who does or shading anybody who does, but it's just my own way of life. Aside from the image I want to present, there are certain things I just don't feel comfortable wearing. There are certain things I just don't feel comfortable saying. So it's just me. And when you get used to a certain lifestyle, it becomes you. That's how my mother dresses. That's how I see my sister dressing. So I think it's just a family thing. It's a moral thing. It's an ethical thing. So it's just me. You just grow into a certain nature, and you feel comfortable. You feel you. So whatever that makes you feel you.
Well, kinda, right? Whatever that makes you feel you, that is in line with
Yeah.
that is in line with whatever you believe is a divine power for you. I think that helps better guide people than whatever that. Because when you tell people nowadays, whatever that makes you happy,
Yes.
people go on to do the worst things.
Exactly.
You got to have some sense of moral guidance. You can't just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I definitely appreciate your response. Now, another Bible verse, and like you said, this is not about a sermon. It's not a sermon that we're trying to preach at today. But I think part of the reason this is heavily biblically focused at the moment is because that's who you are, right? This is who you have shown yourself to be. So if it's who you are, we cannot have an interview without talking about that side of you. It's not
Yeah. That's
possible.
true.
Yes. So a Bible verse that I want to focus on is Proverbs 22, verse 6. Does that ring a bell in any way?
Of course. I went to Sunday school.
Of course. So it says, train up a child in the way that she should go. And when she is old, she will not depart from it. Well, if you read the Bible, typically it will say he. Well, of course, I'm talking about Maureen J. Davis today. So we'll change that pronoun to a she. So tell us, Maureen, growing up, what values, besides the one that you mentioned about dressing, but what values did your parents instill in you that has made you the woman you are today?
Well, it has been a whole lot, but I'll focus on the field that has really stood out for me. It impacted me even up to now. I'm 24 years old. And one of the first things I want to share with everyone who's watching and everyone who will watch this later is the fact of not depending on anybody for anything. My mom is not somebody who would support you wholesomely, depending on other people. It started from assignments, not depending on anybody to do your assignments, not depending on anybody's money, working hard for your own thing. And that has been a big part of who I am. So right now, I am somebody who's not easily let down. I am not somebody who's easily discouraged because I do not depend on anybody for anything. I'm somebody who's a go getter. I get things myself. I want to do things for myself, and I believe my first friend is family. So aside from myself and my family, it's difficult for me to rely on people for certain things. And I believe a lot of Liberian women are hardworking, but a lot of Liberian women depend on men for too much, and it's draining. It's draining depending on people for things because you'll always be disappointed. People will always disappoint you. But if you're
Amen.
somebody who's always trying to do you for you, you wouldn't have time whether you pay somebody to run after a scholarship for you, or you are waiting for somebody to give you a job, or you are waiting for somebody to tell you hold your hand and lead you to the river, to stuff like that. And another thing has been the whole issue of of going home late. My mom is a homebody, she's a home person, so I never really grew up coming home late, staying out of my house late, and stuff like that. And sometimes, you will get pissed, right? As a child, you want to go out, you want to see the world. But I believe that it saved me from so much. It prevented me from endeavoring into things that I shouldn't have been in, because you know what the night brings. Staying out late at night, there is a
Right.
lot of negatives than positives. So that was that. Even though it can be hard, but that was the second thing. And the third thing was the use of foul languages. I've never heard my mom insulting anybody. So even right now, to say a certain word is really difficult. It wouldn't even come out. So I'm
You want
not
to
used
try?
to using profanities, profanities, and stuff like that. So these are the three things I believe really stands out even now. But there are a lot more. If I start to list everything my mom, who's a Congo lady, everything
Yeah.
she has taught and instilled in me, wouldn't move from here today. But I'm
Right.
really grateful for her. Sometimes we can get vexed with our parents, but I'm really grateful for my parents, Mr. and Mrs. John G.S. Davis. They has been a big part of who I am today, and I wouldn't have or ask for any other parents, even in my next life. So.
That's great. That's great. Biblically, the way the Bible set up the church is the same way the family is set up. Our family should be the first cornerstone of everything we do. All of our moral values should be taken from our family. So when the parents do a great job, like the Bible verse implies, when you train up the child in the way that they should go, when they grow old, they won't depart from that. And I think you're exemplifying that in your personal life because of how they train you. Now you are living your life as a woman, and you're able to exemplify those traits that they put in you from an early age. So that's really good. Awesome. So the next thing I want us to talk about is fast forward. You got your BSc in biology from AMEU, and also with some emphasis in chemistry. However, you're on the entrepreneur track. And from what I'm following, I don't see any biological stuff relating to what you're doing. So what happened? How are you utilizing your degree, or how did entrepreneurship become the way to go for you?
Okay, this is a very beautiful question, and I'm so excited to answer because a lot of people have this confusion, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so growing up, when you're very smart in school, you're doing well in high school. Liberia in the society has a way of narrowing how should I say, your
Career
options, your
ambitions.
career options into either
Hmm.
doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. And there is a whole lot that we can do, smart people, quote unquote. And I believe that at a certain point in time, I was on the road to doing my biology and chemistry, going to medical school, becoming a very beautiful doctor, a pediatrician to be specific, because I have always been about kids. I've always been about kids and teaching Sunday school and being organizing events for children, etc. So I thought that that was my path. But then, almost towards graduation, I started to sit back and do my own reflection of my life and how I saw myself in 10 years, how I even saw myself in 5 years. And unfortunately, medicine was not one of those. And then I went to my mom because my sister is a medical doctor now. I said, Mama, I think you have a BCLA family. One that you early get your family because I don't see going to medical school in my life after.
Mhm.
And then she was like, I've been telling you, Maureen can talk plenty. You're supposed to be lawyer. And I'm like, Mama, it's not even about going law. Life
Another
has
big thing that the society tells you to be, right?
yeah. I said, I don't even want to be a lawyer. She said, what? I said, since I was small, since I was little, I've always envisioned, I've always seen myself as somebody who would be with kids, but not in a way of being a pediatrician. I think I have been called out to be into education. I feel like I have a lot to give in terms of teaching, molding minds, etc. And she said, but teachers can be reached. That's the first thing she told me. After all, you've been doing biology and chemistry, and teachers can you don't see teacher salary. I'm like, Mama, I do not have to be in a classroom necessarily, but you know, into education administration, any way that I can impact the lives of Liberian children, because it's so frustrating, especially when you go into the counties and you see the level of or what education is there, and even in Monrovia, how you see there, even to fill out forms, people don't even know how to fill out simple forms. And this is something I've always been involved with, volunteering at the youth center, Tom Bosco Youth Center, as a volunteer teacher and animator. And I just started to see that all my life it has always been about education. And then even while I was in college volunteering, it was nothing into health or sciences or biology and chemistry. I've always been volunteering with children in education, creativity, etc. And then the whole part about entrepreneurship, event hosting, business, etc. It's just something that has always been in me. Since I was little, I was doing my small. I will do business, even in my house. I will sell sweets and candies just for my household. I will always bring innovative ideas in church about how we can make youth service more engaging, how we can get people to keep coming and keep being there, because young people will get tired with certain things too easily, and church
Mhm.
is not a young person's thing so much in Liberia. So we have to find a new way to keep getting people, new ways to keep young people rooted, etc. So then after that, I took a whole week on camp, on our youth camp, to really pray and think about how I want my life to be and how I see my life in the next few years. So after that, I was 100% sure that for the rest of my life, whether I be poor by being to education, but education is something that I don't want to use passionate, because I feel like we misuse the word passionate too much in Liberia. But it's something that I will never grow tired doing. It's something I will never regret doing. And that has been it. So even after I got accepted for the President's Young Professionals Program, and I had to be placed, and they were looking at my credentials, and like they were expecting me to want to go to somewhere as in Ministry of Health, etc. And I told them I would really want to work somewhere in education, but not just because I said I want to do it administratively. I want to work right now with somewhere that I can be connected to children, that I can be with children, primary education based, and that's how they suggested keep where I work right now, the Case Educational Engagement Project. And I'm so grateful to the Keep family. It has been nothing short of amazing. I have been learning a lot, and I feel so comfortable. And I feel like that's one of the best decisions PYPP ever made to send me at KIP. So it has been beautiful, and I'm having an amazing journey so
That's
far.
awesome. That's awesome. And it's a beautiful thing. You can tell the difference when we do things that the society or our parents want than when we find our true quote unquote purpose in life. Now, our parents typically do not have any ill intentions, but your parents, my parents, will not recommend things to us that they don't know themselves. Like they cannot tell you do this or be this because they themselves did not grow up with those actions. So it's hard for them to
Hmm.
see beyond what they
Yeah.
have. So they don't have any bad intentions. They just show you what they know, but it's really left with us and the
Hmm.
system that we create moving forward to be able to give us more options to look into more things. But life is far beyond just being a doctor, just being a lawyer or a police officer. There's a whole lot more that can be done. So it's good on you that you found your place in education. And one thing I like about what you said was, it's not when you think about education, it's not the traditional method of education where you're in the classroom
Yeah.
and you're teaching, because that's what people default to. And I like how you're able to know that my role in education goes beyond the classroom. You know, it goes beyond, it breaks the traditional boundaries of just being a teacher, and that's good. And I can definitely tell a sense of excitement when you explain that story. It goes to show a lot, and that's awesome that you found your place.
Sooner than later.
Awesome, awesome. So the next thing I want to talk about is, besides being an entrepreneur, which we would, go more in details when we come back from our break, you're also a writer. And I'm going to put on the screen here one of your pieces, and can you see this? So it says, do you want to read it in your own voice?
Yes, I wrote this for the Miss Boss Lady show.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Boss Lady, the Boss Lady Effect, Mrs. Baku Topman Saulo. And it says, self love and appreciation is no ordinary ball game. There will be days when there's no fun in the bleachers, there's no fan in the bleachers, when there's no coach or teammates, when there is no one to cheer you on. On those days, you will be your own cheerleader, your own coach, your own fan, your own inspiration. You would hug yourself after each goal, and you wouldn't feel lonely. You wouldn't feel abandoned, and you will love you, and you will celebrate you, and you will love how you make you happy.
Mm. Amen. The thing I appreciate about that is it's so simple, so straightforward, but yet so powerful. So did they give you a theme to write about, or did you just
No,
write something? Okay.
no,
So what
they
emotional state were
didn't.
you in when you wrote that?
Well, at that time, they asked me for a piece just to share another writer on their page. And then, amazingly, at that time, I was writing quotes for my photography page on Instagram. And I was writing a quote to attach to one of the images. And when I got the message, I'm like, okay, let me just make this longer into a poem for that. And the inspiration was and has always been that the world will not always embrace you. Life will not always be easy. Life will not always be bread and butter. And if you are an innovative person, or my friends can say a bossy person, if you're a bossy person, if you know who you are and you see where you are going, other people might not necessarily see the vision, especially when you're starting. But as time goes by, then people start to see the beauty of what you were saying or what you intended to do and stuff like that. So even when it's hard, even when nobody else see that beautiful plane or see the beauty in that even ugly plane, you who know you will celebrate that plane because you know you have the dream, you have the vision, you see beyond what everybody else will see. And even though it's about self love, but it came up from that point of you seeing your own vision of life clearer than what everybody else will see. So it's about appreciating yourself, it's about loving yourself, it's about knowing who you are and living your truth. Because if you do not know who you are, and if you are not somebody who celebrates yourself, If anybody else downgrade or anybody else does not affirm a certain thing, you too start to feel weak about it. It starts to almost seem stupid if somebody else says it's stupid. But if you know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know what you want to do, you are in charge of what you are doing. Even if the whole world sees everything you are doing as stupid, you doesn't see it. You don't see it as stupid because what? You know who you are. So it's in those dark times when nobody else see the beautiful plane that you can still hug yourself, you can still love yourself, you can still cheer yourself on, because in the long run they will be the ones celebrating you. But before people start to celebrate you, you have to celebrate yourself. That's where self-love comes from. Self-love does not come from other people telling you to love yourself or telling you that they love you. Some people find their own validation in other people's affirmation. It shouldn't be like that. It starts from you, and then that love for you, it flows out to other people, and they start to see that you're all about you. You believe in you. You know who you are. You know who you are, and you know what you carry. You are not an ordinary person.
Yeah.
So basically, that was
I'm
the
motivated,
inspiration.
man. I need to get up and go do something. I'm motivated. And then, I feel like I'm wasting my life right now. I need to get up and go do something.
Look at you. You
That's
doing big
awesome.
things.
That's awesome. I'm so glad. And as you're explaining it, I kid you not, I can see the excitement, the passion in what you're explaining, right? And it seems like that writing and many other things you do when you do them comes from the heart. It's not just something that you write to check a box. It comes from your heart, and that is very apparent. So very good on you. Just wanted to share a piece of that, because that is a piece of who you are as a woman, is you're also a writer. Now, the last fun thing here we're gonna do before we go on our break is to show a video. And
I'm
I don't know if
sorry.
you're gonna be. We're gonna show a video. I don't know if you're ready for it.
I'm not prepared for that.
Let's see here. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We will never fall. Every day we moving to the top. Cause we rolling with the biggest shaky pro. Every time we win it's ugly pop. We will not fall. We will never stop. Not by power and strength, not by might. Blessing and favor to show you my life.
Man. Well, you're gonna have to forgive me if I had no place playing that video, but it was on social media to my defense.
Mr. Chapa, I can't believe you did this.
So tell us about that. That's you having fun out of your normal professional stuff. You having fun. How was
Let
that?
me have a good laugh first. Okay. So
By the
there
way,
are
your
two.
dance moves were on point. You were in sync with the other people. I didn't think anything of it. It was on point.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so that's okay. So there are two very great dancers in that video, and there are two struggling dancers in the background, just doing what we have to do. And those two persons, one of them happens to be my best friend, and she's a marvelous dancer. So big shout out to you, Marty, if you are watching this. So she's a dance artist, and I've been working with her for a year to start a structure where she can do dance classes, praise dance classes for children. But she's a Christian inspirational dance artist, and she do her own dance programs. There is not much of dance events in Liberia, like events that start from people having their own events and inviting dancers
Right.
over and stuff like that. But she's starting her own dance empire, doing dance programs and dance classes. And some of the things she does is to start dance challenge on some local Christian songs so that it helps their song to reach a wider audience. So the song Never Fall is by a very creative artist. His name is Nos Catch. He's a Christian inspirational a Christian musical artist. And he did that song and he asked her and her team to create a challenge, a social media challenge where they would dance to the song and other people could use the same moves to the song. So when she started, she said that my best friend has to support me in starting the challenge. People have to see the challenge and want to participate. So Maureen, you have to be in a video. Lexi, you have to be in a video. And we said, we're not great dancers. We're just here to support you. And she said, no, you have to be a part of the video. We'll teach you the moves, and then you can join the video. And I said, okay, if you teach us, no problem. So she came, she taught us the moves and what to do, and then we're just there trying to match them, but we're not really
You
great
guys, you
dancers.
guys
So
did your
it
due,
was,
huh?
yes, it was fun. It was very fun. There was adrenaline rush, and it was a very beautiful experience. Even though some
Yeah.
people were laughing at me, but at least I'm getting there, small, small.
Yes. And it's such a beautiful thing that you're able to work with her with that vision of hers to, make sure that the artist's music reach a larger platform. I believe at the time when I saw it, it had over 300 plus reactions to it. So I think it did achieve its goal and it's still achieving more. So that was
Yeah.
good. So we're at the halfway point. Before we go on our break, is there anything else you would like to say that's relevant to the conversation now?
Well, I would just really want to not talk about me, but talk about you. I really admire what you're doing. Even this, though this should be at the end, but now you've given me the chance. I really appreciate what you're doing for Liberian creatives, for Liberian businesses, for Liberians in totality, for Liberia as a whole. It's something I really admire for a young person to want to put Liberia on the map, tell people who we are, show people that we are Liberians and we're not ashamed. We are who we are and we are remarkable people. I really admire that and I must applaud you. So let's go for a break and be back.
Awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Bosco baby, B to the O, S to the C O, straight out of China. I represent LIB. The song playing in the background is my latest single called Like It or Not. You can find me on social, especially YouTube at Bosco_LIB, and also on Instagram at Bosco_LIB, and also on Facebook at Bus Music. Right now, you're watching the 1847 show. You know it's about you and me and all things Liberian. So follow the 1847 show on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on formerly Twitter and now X. So let's go, 2024. See you.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba from the Girls of Destiny Crazy Organization and owner at Davies Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the 1847 show. I'm your host, Prince Larmi Jarbo, and this is season 2, episode 2, which is part of our series called Entrepreneurship Essentials. This series is dedicated to unraveling the secrets of successful entrepreneurs by sharing real stories aimed at empowering young entrepreneurs to take actionable steps in order to, be involved in the world of business. Our guest today is Miss Maureen J. Davies, who is the founder of Light Biz, and we are yet to talk about that, and also JD's Popcorn. So we'll bring our guest back to the screen. Hey, Miss Davis, how's it going so far?
Fine, thank God. How's it going on that side?
Awesome. Thank you again for hanging in there. So we're at the second portion now. We're going to talk a little bit about your professional work. You mentioned about how you like volunteering, and then we're also going to talk about your business side of things. You know, you have. Someone commented earlier that the feedback was a bit loud, so if you could lower my volume a bit, that would help. Yeah.
Okay. I could also try to move away from the noise.
I think it was more so the echo. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, the echo one. I think, remember earlier when I mentioned that I could hear myself? I think it was more so that. But
Okay.
you've worked with several professional organizations, the Young Political Leadership School of Africa, Wikipedia, also Innovations Hub Liberia. You've worked with so many institutions. How has your affiliation with these institutions put you in the right place where you are today?
I'm sorry. Can you go over the question? I'm so sorry. I didn't catch you clearly.
No problem. I said you've worked with several professional institutions like the Young Political Leadership School of Africa, Wikipedia, Innovations Hub Liberia. Uh, by affiliating with these institutions, what benefit has that given you as a young professional yourself?
Oh, okay. That's a very beautiful question. You know, in Liberia, we don't believe in things that don't give us cash at the moment, right? We don't believe in volunteering. We don't believe in subjecting ourselves to mentorship, learning, growing. We believe that everything should put money in our pocket. And amazingly, for my years of volunteering, helping out with small programs, big programs, learning from professionals, and stuff like that, it has developed my communication skill, my confidence, my, how can I say, professionally communications, interpersonal relationship, networking, what's this thing, emotional intelligence, how to deal with people, how to deal with clients, how to deal with bosses, you know, how to deal with friends, how to get your way in this very hard world. It has taught me that life is for the living, but there is so much that you can learn in school. That's not the biggest thing. There is so much that you can learn in school, even though that in life you need to get money in your pocket, you need to earn money, you need to do this. But I would really encourage, especially young Liberians, and especially those who are still in school, that don't just rush to get a job that will give you money, even though you can learn from jobs that can give you money. But most times, volunteerism gives you the benefit of the doubt, and it also gives you the space to actually work, to actually explore new things, to meet new people, to learn new things that you would never necessarily learn from in school. So it has been one of the biggest things that has happened to me from volunteering over the years with different organizations.
Awesome. And one good thing that goes to say with that is it's not just you taking advantage of these professional opportunities, but you also share them with people as well. You also, when you find opportunities online, you also share them and you encourage other people to do that. Why do you do that?
I'm sorry?
Why do you make it a personal thing to share these opportunities with other young people every time that they come out?
Okay. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of my friends who can normally reach out to me and reach out to other friends that they want jobs, but there is no job in Liberia, even though there is no job actually to meet the needs of all of the citizens, right? But there are actually a lot of opportunities on the internet that young people aren't leveraging. I believe we're not so used to seeing an opportunity, applying for it, going through the right process, applying, going for an interview, and getting accepted. I believe we are still holding on to the primitive ways of doing things where somebody will call you and say, okay, my uncle has a company, come there and work as a secretary and just go. maybe carry your CV and go and start working. Or I know a friend who's opening a restaurant where you want to come and be a waitress. Somebody have to hold their hand and take you to the water, like I said. But there are a lot of opportunities on the internet that when you see, you apply, you have good credentials, you go for the interview, and you get accepted, right?
Hmm.
Locally, even regionally. But I think we're still seeing them as fake, or they're thing on the internet, they're not real. People
Too
are
good to be
scamming
true.
people. But there are actually really good job opportunities, internship opportunities, volunteering opportunities all over the internet in Liberia, right in Liberia. I'm not even talking about outside, in Liberia. But I feel like Liberians, we have to grow into trying to see these things, take the link, apply, go to the interview. If you're successful, you're successful. And you won't believe, even when I share these things, people can screenshot and come in my inbox, says, I'm interested. I'm very interested. They will comment on it. I'm very interested. If you're interested, the link is there. Go to the link,
That's so
apply. And if
funny. I see
you're
that all the
successful,
time.
yeah. So I believe it's still the primitive thing of us, of somebody holding your hand and taking you along. And I feel like we should grow out of somebody handing us a job before we get a job. You can sit right in your bedroom and get a job. You can be at school and get a job if you just take time to properly navigate the internet, see opportunities, look if you meet the requirements, and you just apply, right?
Yeah.
So I
I always
believe in the
think to
ways of the
myself, I'm like, as Liberians, we always come in, we're interested, we want this, we want opportunities, but we need to stop using our mouths to say those things, and we need to start using our actions. Because if you want
yes.
opportunities, let your actions show that you want opportunities, not your
Mm-hmm.
mouth.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting a lot of the feedback. If you could lower the phone again for me a little bit,
Okay. I'm so sorry. Yes.
it's all good. To be quite honest, that's probably one of my weaknesses. I have a hard time concentrating in noise. Um, but it's all good. It's also for the audience as well.
I think
But
they're
yeah,
doing an event here, so that's why I'm trying to move away from the noise.
no problem. We'll make it work. We're almost done with this, by
Yeah.
the way. So you recently hosted the Culture, which is a Valentine's event that celebrates love through dance, poetry, so on and so forth. So tell us how you were able to land a gig like that.
Tell you how I was able to what? I'm
To
sorry.
land that gig, to learn that contract to host it, to be one of the
Oh,
people.
okay. So I've actually been hosting events with my big brother McDonald now for a very long time.
Okay.
But it was not something that I thought was okay. I could add to my resume or something it was just something that okay. I felt it was ordinary that somebody can just do. Like anybody can be an MC, anybody could host an event.
Right.
But then after certain events, people were reaching out to me. Like that was so amazing. It was great how you held the crowd even when electricity went out. How you made them laugh. How you kept them on their toes. And I'm like, okay, that's great. That's beautiful. Some people say, I
Keep
love
it
how you
coming, huh?
speak. I'm like, okay, so I'm really a great event host and I've been sleeping on myself. So then I started to tell my friends that if you're having an event and there's something I want to practice to learn more and develop, if it's something that's really a skill of mine that you people are seeing that I'm not seeing, there will be something I want to explore. So then I started to host by and by, co-host events. And amazingly, people who attended such events started to reach out to me for their own events that we are doing this thing or these people are doing this thing and they are looking for a host and they thought of me. So that means that I'm actually a great event host. So that was just how I landed this one. A friend of mine, his sister was doing the event and she wrote me personally. They wrote me an email saying that it would be such an honor that I would host their event. And I'm like, okay, okay.
Now I won't be a little noisy. Did you get paid for that one? I won't be a little nosy. Did you get paid for that?
No, I personally didn't want to get paid because it was something I wanted to do for the host. The host is
Mhm.
very special to me, so it was something I want to do. But I get paid for my other events. The other events that I do, I get paid.
Okay.
But
Okay,
for
you have
that
any
one, it was
vacancy?
special.
Any vacancy for co-host? I'm looking for a job, man.
Mr. Jabo, please.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Youth Unite. That was a program that you did alongside Rosemary McKeever. How was that experience with
I'm sorry.
Youth? You remember Youth Unite, a program that you and Rosemary McKeever did? How was that experience?
I'm so sorry. Can you come up with the question the last time, please?
Sure.
I
Youth
was having
Unite.
some
Does
noise.
this sound familiar? A program that you and Miss Rosemary McKeever did recently. You appeared on. So tell us a bit about that experience.
Hosting the event.
Yeah, working alongside Rosemary, how has it been? Because I know you guys have partnered on multiple things, on multiple other programs. So how is it like working with somebody?
Oh, okay. Sasa MC. Sasa is my friend. She's a
Mhm.
very inspirational young woman. She's somebody who shares her light with other young women. She's somebody who literally puts other people on, and I must commend her. In this Asian time, where people are so selfish with their own space, with shining light on. Thank you so much. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. I'm so sorry. I was getting my food.
No
So
problem.
people who are selfish with their spotlight, she's not one of them. She's always somebody, if she sees an event, do you want to attend? Do you want to come along? Where you want to speak? Where you want to share this thing with some young people or young women? And it can just be so beautiful. So for that event, it was I know a lady for the job. So it was a program for young women to just come together, share their business ideas, or if they have their business, share with us what they do. We can follow
Mhm.
them on their social media platforms. We can tell them what we do, etc. And she wanted me to speak on a particular topic, and it was a beautiful day. We met with the young women. They were also inspirational. We had Madam Joanna Cashel there, who's also a guru for entrepreneurship and women, etc. So it was good. It was good. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Yes,
So that was
we've
good.
also interviewed Sassy MC on the platform as well.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
girl.
and I personally actually went to school with her.
Really? That's nice.
Yes, yes, we went to school. I think she was a year ahead of me, but we went to the same school, FMCA. And she has a lot to say about how troublesome I was, but this interview is not about that today. Awesome. But let's talk a little bit about Lightbiz. So Lightbiz is one of your businesses, and that's something that was established in August of 2023. And from what it seems, it looks like a community where you bring together believers, where you guys, you try to fellowship and build each other up, right? So, but from the model, the things that you guys do, it seems like there's a lot more behind the vision. So I want you to expand on that a little bit. What other things do you guys do besides the fellowship, besides the building each other up? What other things is the business established to do?
So Lightbiz is more than just a business. I believe is it's a safe recreational space for children. Above all else,
Hmm.
that is one of the things that we're really trying to do. You know, in Liberia, a lot of parents can want to take their children out, maybe to the pool or to some program, but you do not necessarily want to see or your children to want to see people passing around in bikini. No offense against the people who wear bikini,
Hmm.
maybe smoking shisha. No offense to people who do smoke shisha, but there are certain things you just don't want kids to be exposed to too early.
Right.
But then, if they're not going to the very public places, what options do they have to recreate freely? So we're really trying to evolve the fellowship to create safe recreational events for children, especially on holidays that children can go out so that they can play games, have fun, and with a bigger goal of doing carnival rides, to have water parks. There are certain things we don't experience in Liberia. I mean, you have to go way Sierra Leone before you see a bowling alley, stuff like that. There are certain things that are so ordinary, but still we do not see these things in happening in Liberia. Like recreation is just so centered and just so small. We have limited options to freely recreate. So we're trying to redefine what recreation is, what recreation should be like. um, Prince El Gerbo should be free to come to Liberia. And when he wants to go out to the bowling alley, he wants to do a carnival ride, he wants to attend a fun fair where there's popcorn and ice cream and juice and different games options, he should have that. So that's like the bigger picture. It's big, but it's possible. So,
Okay. And since August of last year, how much progress have you guys made towards achieving that goal?
well, things are always difficult. It has been difficult in terms of fun nights, in terms of bringing a big dreams to reality. Everything can happen one time. You have to work hard. You have to take baby steps, and the baby steps will lead to bigger steps. But one thing that is very beautiful now about us is that the team believes in the vision, and the team still holds on to the vision, and we are still trying to move with the vision. And that's why it's important to have support systems around you who understand what we are doing and who sees the bigger picture along with you.
Right.
That is our stronghold right now. We still have the dream, we still believe in what we want to do, and we're still doing small events until we can finally start to do the very big ones.
Right. You got to start from somewhere, and people are indeed the foundation for anything that you want to do. If you can have big dreams, but if you don't have the right people in place, you cannot accomplish those big dreams. So it is important that you focus on the important things at the moment. So let's talk a bit about Davies popcorn. I think it was actually not. I think it was definitely the first business of yours that I came across. And one thing that I immediately appreciated was how well the business was marketed. Right, you guys have been to a lot of festivals, from MTN, to these other programs that are held, and you have a very great marketing strategy. So, at what point did your business start to prioritize marketing, understanding the impact it could have on the business?
The business started to
Prioritize, yeah.
we started to prioritize marketing even before we started.
Okay, that's a good
Imagine.
one.
Yes, so before I started, I already had the plans of what I want to do, how I saw JD's popcorn, how I saw us at events. And imagine we haven't even done 10% of some of the plans we have for branding and marketing. We actually have very beautiful plans, but the whole idea was I'm a big fan of popcorn. And most times when I go to events, programs will have all of the drinks and all of the food, and I wouldn't see popcorn. It made me
Hmm.
sad, and I thought that
So you find a solution.
there might be other people who have the same desire, who want popcorn at their events, who want popcorn at movie nights, who want popcorn at sporting events, at basketball games, at football games. And there are parents who want popcorn at their children's birthday parties at their schools, but they don't have the time early morning to do popcorn and carry it to the school, etc. So what if we take away the stress of doing popcorn or wondering how your kids will have popcorn at their school for their birthday ceremonies, or if you don't have to pop the popcorn earlier to the birthday in time to have it, it's already cold. What if there are people who are just there serving freshly made popcorn in that moment, delivering popcorn at your kids' school for their birthday, having popcorn at your event, having popcorn at your basketball game, at your festival, etc. And that was it. And we flew with the idea.
Okay. So from a business perspective, of course, any small thing done on a large scale can have immense impact. But I want you to explain a bit of how, for a product that has such small profit margins, because I can imagine if you're making popcorn, you're not making a lot of profit on each bag, right? It adds up over time. So for a product that has such small profit margins, how has your business been able to make it work, essentially?
Okay, so the profit is small, but it's something. it it's actually profiting more than what I expected.
Ooh, that's a good
Because
sign.
if you do, normally what we do for most of the setups, the beautiful setups that you see at small events, those are just for promotion and publicity. But our
Okay.
real true profits come from the bigger programs like the football games at ATS, at SKD. Because if you're selling popcorn between $100 to $200 and you have over 150 persons buying popcorn, that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And our other biggest profit making trend is with the birthdays, the birthday parties, deliveries. That one, you're not doing transportation to transport all your setup. You're just making it at home and doing deliveries. So every day is some kind of late child birthday party in Liberia. So if you
I
are
know
doing
that.
delivery at schools, if there are 50 kids in a class, you are taking 50 cups, 50 buckets, or 50 bags of popcorn to this school. Tomorrow you are doing another 50 to 75. Tomorrow you are doing another 25 to 50. Those ones doesn't really showcase the brand like it would at the setup, but the setup gave us the platform to share who we are to people for them to see us and then they recommend us to other people who are actually our real consumers, but you don't necessarily see them at the festivals. But the festivals and the other small programs that we do, the beautiful setup is just for promotion.
Strategic. That's all I hear. I just hear strategy. It's understanding that though something might seem small, it still has relevance in the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Very, very strategic. So we're at the end of this interview, but I do want you to leave by imagining a younger version of yourself and thinking of that person when you were growing up. What are things that you know now that you would tell that younger version of yourself and give them a word of wisdom, if you will?
If I could look at my younger Maureen right now, Maureen, why are you so shy? You're so smart. Why are you so afraid of trying? Why are you so afraid of daring? If I was just daring since I was little, I would even be far more than what I am now. Because before I would just have the ideas, but the same thing about self esteem. That is why I'm so big on self love and knowing who you are. Because the thing about self esteem and not seeing yourself as good enough, not seeing yourself as beautiful, it has the propensity of really throwing you backwards. So if I was just putting into effect all of the ideas I had before, taking the world by my hand and just giving myself to all of the opportunities I had before, I would be so much more than I am today. So I believe the only thing I would tell my younger self, why are you so shy? You are so pretty, you are so beautiful, you are so smart. Step up your game.
Yeah, step up to your calling, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. How about for those that are watching who maybe aspire to do something that you're doing now? What words of advice would you give them?
Well, nothing comes easy, and nobody will see the vision as clearly and as beautiful as you would see it. You have the blueprint, not just the one on paper, but the one in your heart. So you can be all you want to be, but it will not be easy. You just have to start, be consistent, and plan properly. One thing like bro, we can plan. Maybe we'll just see something, we just want to start, and we'll just start. Not taking into consideration the risks, the time, the energy, the highs and the lows. So if
Hmm.
you properly plan, if you want to do this and you have a whole roadmap to how you want to do it, how it looks like in 2 months, how it looks like in 6 months, how it looks like in a year, even when things start to get hard, you still have that vision and that blueprint in front of you. So it's good to properly plan. You can be everything and anything you want to be, but plan. Schedule your time. Use your time wisely. There is so much you can get from the internet. There is so much that is on even social media. Even though we can say don't spend your whole time on social media, but there is so much on social media. By just watching videos on social media, you get your own ideas of how you want to do your own personal things about branding and marketing and promotion, even your personal brand, how you want people to see you online. So if you're on social media, you can follow some other like Shwana Kashal. She doesn't even know that I stalk on social media all the time. I go there and I just see the things that she's doing, how she's trying to fit motherhood and business and entrepreneurship into running a school, and she's so many things, but she's making it work. And I believe it's by properly planning, having your timeline, having your schedules, and focusing on what's important. So I will go on and on and on and on and on, but those are the main important things. Believe what you want to do and plan properly.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. Thanks for the words of wisdom. And I hope for you, our platform definitely shares your story as we promised and highlight the things that you're doing. Now, if people want to, buy the popcorn or, hire light beans, how can they get in contact with you guys?
Okay, so for JD's Popcorn, you can email us at popcornjds. So it's popcornjds@gmail.com. You can also call us on 0775 075 and also we have Facebook and Instagram pages for both JD's Popcorn and Light Base. So you can reach out to us via our social media platforms. We're very active on there and we would definitely respond to you.
Awesome. And the email here is on the screen for JD's Popcorn as well, popcornjds@gmail.com. You
For
guys
Light
can
Base,
follow it.
for
Yes.
Light Base, it's LITTBISBIZ@gmail.com. LITTBIZ@gmail.com.
All right, let's put that on the screen. And that's also on the screen right there, as you can see. Awesome. Now, if you personally, if you feel inspired by Maureen's story and you would like to follow her and not the business, you can also follow her on social media. Now, I don't know how they're going to type that thing in, but you can just type in her name on Instagram. It's Maureen J. Davis. And you'll find her on Facebook and Instagram, I believe some other social media. But if you wanted to go on Instagram specifically, you have to put the underscore and Rain. Like
You just type my full name. You just type my full name, Maureen Jennifer Davis. My platform will still come.
Absolutely. So thank you, Maureen, for the time. Thank you for being on time. The internet was definitely better. We hope that this added value to the work that you're doing. We and Liberia as a whole appreciate your effort. Keep going. And this platform is definitely yours. You're part of the family now. So if you have any promotional item that you would like us to promote, no matter what stage we are on, we'll definitely promote it for you. So thank you. You're part of the family. And we'll absolutely invite you back to the next game show.
Yes, please do.
Awesome. Have a good rest of your day. And then for those of you that are watching, you've been watching the 1847 show. I've been your host, Prince Laramie Jarbo. And if you are not following the 1847 show, my man, come on now. You are Liberian. This is for Liberia. Follow the 1847 show. We have a lot of amazing content for you. So please do right after the show. But that's all for today. And until next time, God bless you and God bless our beautiful Mama Liberia. Take care, guys. See you next week.